Hey guys, and welcome to the secret great matchup in Total War Warhammer 3. This is by far everyone's favourite matchup, and I know you're going to tell me different in the comments. You're going to say I'm lying, but deep down, we all know it is, of course, Nurgle led by myself, and who can it simply be up against? Of course, it is more Nurgle. The Nurgle mirror match, the greatest of all matches in the realms. It's going to be a good, fun showdown. Better than the Vampire Count mirror matches, trust me. There's more juicy goodness and pestilence on display here today. And as I record this, we are on 9,999 subscribers. So you, yes you, right there sitting in your underwear watching this, could indeed be the 10,000th subscriber. It's unlikely actually, because it's about 3 hours before this comes out, but you never know, you could be that guy. You just have to dream and press that button to find out. Anyway, let's delve into this. So this is myself in charge of the force of Nurgle. I have a double Forsaken just to try to whip round the flanks and tear through Plague Bearers as quickly as possible. We have the Festering Stooges, of course, regiment-renowned Exalted Plague Bearers, as well as a spawn of Nurgle in the back. We do have the kind of disgusting hero and Lord Core here. We have double Cultists, of course, coming with their summons and debuffs. And then we have Kugarth Plaguefather, who has received significant buffs in recent days, or recent weeks, I should say, and he's coming with miasma of pestilence, fleshy abundance, as well as a stream of corruption and all his good items and abilities. Opposing us on the far side is the false Nurgle. They worship the soap gods rather than the Nurgle gods, and we can't stand this. They're coming in with the Exalted Great Unclean One, of course, and he himself will be coming with fleshy abundance, stream of corruption, and the, I believe it's called Blight's Boil. There we go, Blight Boil. He has a load of Plague Bearers of Nurgle mixed in as well, I believe, are going to be the Festering Stooges. Once again, the fake Festering Stooges compared to our totally real ones. Some Spawn of Nurgle, Beast of Nurgle, and Double Cultist. So both builds are relatively similar. My opponent has gone for Plague Bearers. I'm hoping that the might of the Forsaken should be able to chew for them relatively quickly. My opponent has some Nurglings as well, making their move down to Objective 3. I was actually pushing forward with some of my own Nurglings and decided, you know what, if he's going to have a bit of resistance, I'll fall back and move over to number 1 there. They already look really funny, the animations from distance. When you go up, it looks makes a lot more sense. We are moving into position now around Objective 2. This is where the majority of the fighting shall take place. Of course, Nurgle like to sit on objectives and stay there for about 50 years, rather than you know, trying to take objectives in the late game and that kind of stuff. We have some Chaos Furies as well. Their main job is to rear attack the enemy once the battle does get underway and try to chew through the Plague Bearers as swiftly as possible. We have some big shots coming down the line by Kugarth. He claims a skull in the name of his grandpapa, and you know, hey, it does decent damage at the end of the day. There's plenty of potential healing. I'm also going to pop some shots towards the Exalted Grey and Clean One, who is attempting to juke, which is one of the funniest things you're likely to see. There's our Grey and Clean One trying to bounce back and forth to dodge missile pressure. I do summon some Plague Toads. Looks like we have 2 units on arrival. The Nurglings will be moving down towards Objective 1. My opponent has his own Nurglings on Objective 3 and is summoning more Exalted Plague Bearers. Now, it's really key for us, both of us today, that we get our Exalted Plague Bearers, the Festering Stooges and so forth, to shoot the enemy general. They do massive, massive damage, so I want to be hitting big targets. The Exalted Grey and Clean One, or for me, I suppose I can also aim for the Beast of Nurgle. My opponent's kind of just vibing. He's sitting back, trying to get as many reinforcements to the front line as possible. And allow me to actually just cap the objective here. So we've capped the central objective, and we've also capped Objective 1, or just about to. This is buying more and more time for us to get Plague Toads. I'm trying to situate them on the left-hand flank so we can come crashing in when the time is right. And at the same time, we're getting some pretty decent damage done on the Exalted Great Unclean One by the long-range pressure from Kugarth Plaguefather. He is switching up his attacks now and again, also aiming for the enemy infantry. My opponent was waiting for more reinforcements. Looks like he is finally going to start pushing up to engage with us. So he takes some rather nasty damage straight to the face of the Plague Bearers. And I'm waiting patiently, waiting to blow and annoy and to destroy my enemies as swiftly as possible. But no, we don't do anything really that swiftly. Forsaken are going to start driving forward now, and there's Leroy Jenkins in it forward, trying to bait my opponent into an actual fight now, and it looks like he is going to answer the call. Spawn moving, so I'm going to be moving up my Forsaken, and now look at the damage on the Festering Stooges. Look at that disgusting damage on the Beast of Nurgle of 1 volley. In comes the second volley. It is vile, down to half HP off 2 volleys. My opponent rather wisely summons a unit of Plague Bearers to pin us in place. We get yet another volley off, and we nearly slaughter the Beast of Nurgle. If we got that final volley off, that beast was probably dead, which is rather wild stuff for sure. A bucket ton of summons come down. I summon both my Plague Bearers in the middle here, buying time for the Plague Toads to whip around the flanks. Furies as well, gonna clatter in, and it is a flustercluck of juicy, juicy pestilence. as pus and blood flows greatly over the battlefield, and the Exotic Grand Clean One's getting down and dirty. Kugar's kind of been a little bit too passive right now, so we're moving him up in to engage the enemy, looking to hunt down the enemy general where possible. I've my own spawn as well as hacking at Plague Bearers. Our first Stream of Corruption goes down the line on the Plague Bearers, doing some relatively okay damage. Hibbity hobbity, Plague Toads are coming for that booty, and we're going to be jumping on top of the Festering Stooges. The other unit is currently pinned in by Spawn as well as Exalted Plague Bearers. We're going to try and fall back and distract those guys as long as possible, pull them away from the main fight. The middle of engagement's going relatively well for us though. Plague Bearers are starting to crumble in droves right now. Spawn also looking a little bit worse for wear. And Kugarth is fighting the Great Unclean One in a tide of pus and blood. These mighty war gods do go to war. Look how just absolutely mad this game looks. And we're going to be vomiting over the enemy. Just having a good time, really. And having a bit of a barn. Oh, a bit of a barn? A bit of a brawl, is what I was meant to say there. The Festering Stooges are still actually have a tiny bit of ammunition, it would say. Oh no, they are completely out. They're going to be looking just to move forward and engage with the enemy. But we're getting some lovely trades here. Due to that, we've managed to get some big surrounds. Likewise, the Cultists of Nurgle are surrounding the Exalted Great and Clean One, allowing us to drag him to pieces. Unfortunately, the Plague Toads in the back are getting dragged down. We have some Chaos Furies on arrival, though, looking to snipe Nurglings and other reinforcing units. The objective still ours for now. On the flanks, there's not really that much going on. Nurglings have objective 1, Nurglings have objective 3, but we are going to be moving a cheeky spawn of Nurgle down there to try to, apply a bit of pressure to my opponent's claim objective. We're getting an overcast boil come down. I do attempt to move out of the way as swiftly as possible, but, oh, that's nasty. We actually take significant damage right there, which is a little bit rough. A lot of our units start to break. However, we are winning the general fight, though it is rather slow. Cultists of Nurgle are doing a fantastic job alongside Kugarth to grind down the enemy here in the center. Plague Toads, unfortunately, are getting dragged down. The Spawn of Nurgle are feasting upon their rotting corpses, gaining their strength and power. And all of a sudden, things are looking a little bit scary. The middle objective is actually starting to fall for us a bit. We still have the Festering Stooges in here, but they are about to eat a really well-placed Stream of Corruption by my opponent. My god, that did some disgusting damage. And though we have our powerhouses, my opponent now has the Exotic Plague Bearers to apply a bit of pressure to Kugarth in general and try to overwhelm him, but it does look like the Exotic Grand Clean One is far worse for wear so far. Both the cultists doing a fantastic job against the enemy cultists, particularly being buffed up by the Plague Father's buff there of the mighty Kugarth. And we're holding it just about, but that middle objective is starting to fall a little bit. We have some Forsaken coming back to the battlefield, and now we have reinforcements. We have a unit of Forsaken as well as a unit of Nurglings on the warpath. Down on objective 3, we're going to be hopefully dragging some of my resources of my opponent away from that middle fight by jumping up on his Nurglings and beating the absolute living snot out of them. They're not having the best of days, unfortunately. It is... Oh my god, these models, I know they're Warhammer 2 models, like repainted and stuff, but they are horrifying to look at. They really are quite gnarly. And it looks like the Nurglings will indeed be going down. My opponent is going to respond. He has some of his own spawn on arrival and some Exalted Plague Bearers and even more Nurglings. So it looks like my plan is working. We're going to be dragging a decent amount of enemy resources away from the center. Hopefully going to be buying time for me to recapture, because we've actually lost it here. But we do have Forsaken on the warpath, Nurglings and Plague Toads as well on arrival, and a couple more Forsaken who will probably get taken off the battlefield. We are ahead tickets-wise, 2,770 to 1,515, and the fight in the middle is brutal. Festering Stooges continue to fight, just about holding on. The double cultists are doing a fantastic job, and the enemy Exotic Grand Clean One, he's used a couple of heals. I don't think I've used a single Fleshy Abundance yet. And the Exotic Grand Clean One is not looking that good. Kugarth is already up to an impressive 3,000 value and looks good to drag down the enemy general. Plague Toads spawning and pushing onto the objective has not been enough for me to actually get enough capture weight there. I've got more Plague Toads and double Nurglings on the warpath, looking to get here as swiftly as possible. Likewise, I can try to use the Plague Toads to intercept enemy reinforcements, or jump and shut down some of the infantry in the middle, because despite the fact we're winning the middle fight, we don't have enough bodies on the objective. Kugarth does vomit up on top of the Exalted Grand Clean One, who probably likes it as a bit of a beautiful bath there. He himself is dancing amongst the Plague and Pestilence. After 88 kills as well, he's been pretty nasty to me, but Kugarth's done a decent job. Looks like yet another Fleshy Abundance is going to go down on the Exalted Grand Clean One. Don't know if that's going to be enough to save him. He's relatively close to his healing cap. Middle objective is still not ours. We are starting to butcher the Exotic Plague Bearers now, and the Nurglings are getting jumped by Plague Toads, which is fantastic news for us. And it looks like that is going to start to be enough to turn the tides. It's very back and forth at the moment on this objective. Cultist is back, and now 1, 2, 3. The Nurgling reinforcements, the elite detachment of Nurglings, are on arrival, and we're going to be a bit sneaky, a little bit sweaty with them. We're not going to move them into the main fight. We're going to pop one on the edge, one on this edge, and one on this edge, and my opponent's going to have a long time at trying to shut them all down. With a Stream of Corruption coming in, not the best placement for us. I was hoping my opponent was going to continue to move forward where it would have done a bit more damage. But I like this play, getting the Exiled Plague Bearers in to try to drag down Kugarth, but Kugarth is disgustingly tanky. It looks like he's still going relatively strong at the moment as well. We're going to be dropping a lovely Miasma Pestilence down on the Exalted Great and Clean One, who once again is going to have to go into a rather swift retreat. We still have the ticket advantage. We've captured a back objective 2. The game has basically been a big blob fight. There was a tiny bit of back capping by myself. Looks like a unit of Spawn is going to be babysitting the Nurglings down there to ensure that doesn't happen again. More Nurglings and Spawn on arrival from my opponent. However, we have some glorious Toads on arrival. In the middle, the Exiled Plague Bearers continue to try and take down the large boys. We have a Stream of Corruption coming down, doing some pretty nice damage. Actually, it was okay damage, nothing too crazy. Exiled Great and Clean One is down to 1,500 HP, and look at Kugarth. Barely a scratch on him. We can't even see the end of his healing cap. His opponent is at his healing cap, and we have over 11,000 HP. It is not going well for my opponent at this moment, particularly now that I have more Toads on arrival, and we're looking to jump the Nurglings. He's desperately piling units in to attempt to capture the mid-objective. It does not matter. I'm winning the middle fight just about. I say I'm winning the middle fight. I'm actually losing it, but I'm winning the Lord fight. That's got to count for something, and we definitely have a load of Nurglings just, hiding out on the objective, being a pain in the butt. Got some Chaos Furies on arrival, as well as Plague Bearers looking to sit on the objective and attack the enemy where possible. And it looks like he, again, has a beast of Nurgle on the way, but apart from that, it's just lowly Nurglings who will easily be dragged down and countered by the glorious Plague Toads. Stream of Corruption does go down on the Thestrian Stooges. They've been around for a very long time. I don't know if this is the second time they've been summoned or not. It does look like the Exiled Great and Clean One. It receives a Miasma Pestilence and is going to flee like the coward Kugarth knew he always was. Down to just 956 HP. It looks like he is really not having a good day at the moment, but he's going to be able to fall back. My opponent will probably be wise to take him off the battlefield, because otherwise he's simply going to be destroyed. Middle objective is starting to fall, which is a bit of a problem. We have the Plague Bearers on arrival, but they are slumberously lumbering in that direction. His Exiled Plague Bearer does retreat, tail between his legs. And the cultists for myself have been doing so good. They've been on the battlefield the entire day. They are dueling at their cultist evil king, while some Forsaken do chant a victory cry. Looks like the cultist has been dealt with. Kugarth just simply is too chunky in the middle fight. We have Fury's been a pain in the butt, just hunting down Nurglings in the back, stopping them capping the middle objective. We are starting to lose it now, but we do have Plague Bearers coming in 2 by 2, as well as more Nurglings and Plague Toads. And all we have to do is slow down my opponent. He needs a triple cap at this point, and he's not going to get it. We shall not bend. We shall not break. We shall bless the world with our pestilence. A Nurgling is pulled from the stomach of Kugarth as he launches down into the face of some Thestrian Stooges, and we shall be victorious. And that was certainly a game. It was a pretty good fun one. Nurgle v Nurgle is certainly a sight to behold. And hope you guys enjoyed just the grindiest matchup there ever has been. Just so much healing, so much staying power, so little damage output. It's quite a fun one for sure. And Kugarth, I mean, 6,700 gold value? Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. He did a good job. He outscored the Exalted Great and Clean One, but not by massive amounts. He got 116 kills and 5,401 gold value. Is very nice. Thestrian Stooges, however, 1.9k for my unit. My opponent's 1.3, so they both performed rather fantastically. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. If you did, make sure to leave a juicy thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content into the future. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment down below what you thought of the battle. If you'd like to just yell quack or leave a funny comment, I do enjoy reading through them all. And once more, yeah, we're very close to 10,000 subscribers. We may even have 10,000. So why not join the Dark Legions? And yeah, hit the little subscribe button. There's a load of links down below to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. Patreon is basically what keeps the channel going alongside the YouTube members here. So massive shout out to all of them. And yeah, feel free to support if you can via that. If not, there's also a Discord down below where you can submit replays, get involved in live streams, events, and all that glorious goodness. And there's Twitch, where I've not really been that active for quite a while, but I am planning on getting back there eventually. So feel free to go give a follow over there for when I do my dreaded return. Until next time, guys, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.